Guys, if you please like this video, please subscribe this channel, like this video, and share it with your friends or family. And I'd just like to say one thing: enjoy. Let's go.
Hey guys, before you try and solve Megaminx, make sure you know how to solve the first two layers on a 3x3 as we'll be using the exact same steps. So first, using the white side, we'll make what is basically the cross but is called a star because there are 5 pieces. For example, this piece is white and purple, so we'll put it over here. So solving these pieces will be a lot like solving it on 3x3. You can just do them all one by one, but if you have one really far away from the star, then you just have to turn it around the cube until it's pretty close enough, and then you can just bring it in like that. Once we have the star, we'll look for white corner pieces, such as this one. This one's white, blue, and red. So if you use the beginner method, you can insert this right now. And if you use F2L, you can find its edge piece and insert them together. For example, with the beginner method, we would solve all of white first. So you bring this above blue and red, like this, and then insert it however you normally do. And you can continue doing all the corners, or you could go and find the blue-red edge and then just insert this how you would in the beginner method, which could be like this. And if you know F2L, an example is just get them both into this approximate area, and then you can pair them up how you would in F2L. So that could look like this, and then just insert. Once you finish the first 2 layers, we're going to go on to what's called the second 2 layers. So instead of using the white cross or star, we will be using a star for each of these colors on the side. So I like to start with yellow. Just make sure you don't break any of the first 2 layers you've already made as you make the yellow star. So for example, I have this piece, which is yellow-orange, so I will want it right here, and I have this piece which is yellow light green, and I'll put that right here. Once you've made the star, you essentially have more F2L slots that you have to solve, and this works exactly the same way as F2L. For example, I have this piece, and just solve this however you would in F2L. I'll just use the beginner method, which would look like this. Now once you've solved the 2 layers around yellow, move on to one of the side colors. So I'm going to move on to blue over here, which means again solve the blue star and then solve the 2 layers around it. So I've skipped to when I finished it because it should be exactly the same idea as the white or yellow first 2 layers. Then solve the red star and the 2 layers around red. After the 2 layers around red is done, we have green and purple. You can actually do these in any order. This part will be a bit trickier, so I'll solve dark green first, which means finding this piece and just moving it into the star and making sure I keep all of my other 2 layers solved. So here we have 2 slots left to go to solve green, but this one's a little bit different because it's a little farther away from the opening, which is up here. So anytime you want to take something out or put something in here, you're going to have to move the green star piece over to purple. So for example, if I'm going to solve this pair, I have this edge here already and I need this corner. So I can move that corner to keep it in the top and then move this over. Now I'm going to solve this F2L pair, or I'll just do it in the beginner method because if you see it as an F2L pair, it should be a lot more obvious what you're looking at. But insert that corner so it's also green bottom, and then blue and purple. So I'll take this one and insert it like this. Now once you've done that, just put this at the bottom, and now you have 2 more slots to solve as usual. So now the last layer for me is gray. I want to make the gray star as well, so I'm going to make sure that all of the gray edge pieces are facing up. So these 2 are not, but these 3 are. If you have 2 edge pieces, you have to flip clockwise, right clockwise, up counterclockwise, right counterclockwise, front counterclockwise. To flip 2 edge pieces that are not next to each other, hold one on the front and one on the back right, and then do clockwise, right counterclockwise, up counterclockwise, front counterclockwise. 2 correct are next to each other, then hold them on the front and left. Then do this algorithm, which may be easier to memorize visually. You watch this pair, do for when I have 2 across from each other solved. Next, we'll get the entire top face to be gray, and that means first putting it on the bottom, and we're going to work on one corner at a time, kind of like the 3x3 beginner method, where we start with the bottom right corner. So make sure the bottom right corner is unsolved, don't have something like this there. And here we're going to do these 4 moves over and over until this one has gray on the bottom. So we'll do it once, twice, and there it is, gray on the bottom. When that is the case, then move over to the next one. And so this one doesn't have gray on the bottom yet. We'll repeat. Once, twice, gray's not on the bottom, 3 times, 4 times, and make sure you finish that last move there, part of the algorithm. Now gray is on the bottom, and we'll move on, and so on. So once that's done, if you haven't made any mistakes like missing a move or turning the entire thing instead of just turning the bottom over, then you should have all gray on the bottom. For the final step, make sure we're still holding this upside down. When we have all gray on the bottom, we're going to be looking at the colors next to it. So here we have beige and pink, which belongs over here. So what we're going to do is alternating two sequences of moves. The first one is when we take this out, which is the first three moves that I did in the earlier algorithm. And the second one is when you put it back in. So that's just the reverse. We're going to be alternating between those two. So I'm going to blue and orange, so I will bring over blue and orange underneath here and do the backward sequence. Now that should solve everything. If you still need help,
Bye guys, please don't forget to subscribe, share the video, like, and see you guys in the next video.